Hello and welcome to Profiles in Risk. This is your overly caffeinated host, Tony Cañas, recording the second of a quadruple hitter today. Uh, so a crazy, crazy day in my life today. And today I have with me returning guest, Philippe Charles-Pierre, with my best French accent on your name, co-founder and CEO at Semsee. So first of all, Philippe, thank you for joining me today. And Philippe is a returning guest. He prior appeared on the podcast at episode 341 about 2 years ago, and I will include that in the show notes. So today we'll talk a little bit about what Semsee does, but with a special focus on the new stuff from the last couple of years. So first of all, thank you for joining me today. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh,
It's been a fast 2 years since the last time we've been there.
my pleasure, my pleasure. And I feel like I've seen you like 7 times a year. And in the
Hey,
last few months, at least a couple times, right? New York last week for sure. And it's hard to keep track, but I'm sure ITC last year,
yes,
and very likely in SureTech New York this spring.
yes,
Uh,
definitely saw you there.
I
I think
missed
we
the
waved. It
Hartford.
was one of those where we waved.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So I always try to make sure to come say hi. New York last Friday, the
Yes,
weather was gorgeous, but then
it
I
was.
just recorded another podcast with another New Yorker earlier today, and they said that it's rainy and gross today.
It is. It is. I'm looking outside and it is not pretty. It's been raining a lot, so I'm expecting a lot of flowers. I thought it was April showers, not
That's
May
the
flowers.
same thing she said. Um,
Yeah, I didn't expect all this rain in May, so
I, I'm
that means the humidity is coming.
I, I'm so glad that the New York smile they brought a broad spring smile for me last Friday. I ended up leaving the insurance capital summit a little bit early because I had chatted with everybody. It was such a great conference that I got through it quickly. And it looked so pretty outside, and I wanted to get some New York pizza before heading to the airport, and I did. It was beautiful. I walked around the pier and stuff. It was beautiful. And then I took the Uber back to the airport, and I made a crucial mistake. So that was the end of an 18-day road trip.
Oh wow.
It had all gone really well. Las Vegas, Atlanta, Chicago, back to Atlanta, New York. It had all been beautiful. And then I cheated on Delta. My fault, my fault. And I was flying back Frontier, which I do rarely.
Huh.
It saved me a couple $100. What I will never do again is I was flying back Frontier from Newark.
Oh,
And yes, I got out of I got off of my Uber at Newark and immediately got a notification that my flight was delayed 6 hours. And
wow.
it was too late to do anything about it. Basically, the last Delta flight had departed, and it would have been $100 Uber to get me to either JFK or LaGuardia, and I would not have made the last Delta flight in time. So I had to wait in LaGuardia with no lounge or anything. Ended up getting home at 4 a.m. on Friday
Oh,
morning, and basically, I basically canceled all my morning meetings and slept, and I basically got myself jet lagged without leaving the time zone, which takes special skill set and
that is a special. That's
uh,
the worst, I think. And the thing is, if you had gotten that notification maybe half hour, 35, 40
oh,
minutes
I could
before,
have probably
you would have
saved.
stayed in New
Yeah,
York. You could have hung
well,
out in New York City.
this was a quick turn for me. Normally in New York, I'll stay at least one night and go see a show, as I love Broadway. My girlfriend was coming back from a 5 week trip that night, and
Ah,
I needed to get the apartment into like livable standards. Because 5 weeks, like it was a disaster. So that's why I couldn't. What I could have done if I got a notification like an hour or two earlier, I could have changed plans and just gone to LaGuardia and taken the last Delta
right.
flight and just take the hit. Right. But yes. So anyway, it was unsavable. By the time they notified me, they waited until just late enough that I was screwed.
That
So
that's the
never.
worst.
So
Well, well,
never again.
the worst is it's gotten worse at Newark, unfortunately,
Oh
because
my God.
yeah.
I swear to God, LGA for life, JFK in case of emergencies. I am never flying Newark again. I promise. All right. So thank you for coming back on the show. we always give the guest the chance to give the elevator pitch. So, what is Semsee?
Thank you for asking. So, Semsee is a commercial rating platform. We really focus on essentially helping agents connect to carriers. When we first started, when we chatted a couple of years ago, we were really focused on building a rating platform to help agents connect to their appointed carriers. In the 2 years since we've chatted, two things have evolved and grown as part of that. One, we've added more and more carriers on the platform, and then two, we've added a lot more agents. We've got over 6,000 agents and 50 plus carriers, 24 lines of business on the platform. So that has been a tremendous growth for us. But even more interesting, as we added those carriers and we added those agents, we realized that there needed to be an intermediary or a sort of a new way of doing a marketplace to connect agents to markets and carriers that they hadn't known before or that they needed. Because in those 2 years, the biggest thing that's changed outside of Semsea is the fragmentation in the marketplace, meaning more and more carriers are going in and out of markets, more MGAs are starting up, more
Uh,
programs,
the,
and,
the,
and
so
yeah,
let me pause you right there. The last 2 years have been crazy.
crazy.
The hard market, right? So all of a sudden, carriers just like ran scared from a lot of markets and up pricing significantly in a lot of markets. And the
That's right.
job of, I've never been an agent, but the job of the agent got incredibly hard in the last couple of years.
Much harder,
And
much
then
harder.
we have seen an explosion in what I call insurtech MGAs.
Yes.
So yes, radical changes in the market that really affect your world.
That's exactly right. And what not only it affects our world, but in many ways it created an opportunity for us
Of course.
because now our platform can be seen by agents as a way to not only help an agent and the agent classify business, but then actually once they classify it, we can help them find a market, whether that market is something that they already are familiar with or they've got an appointment with, or using our market access team, what we call MAP, Semsee Map, which essentially is a way for us to find them a market in the times where they have challenges. And so that's been a really big opportunity for us where our platform now it can be a one-stop shop for agents. And then the last thing, and this is more the past 9 months to a year, larger brokers or intermediaries, as well as MGAs and carriers, have then started to come to Semsee to leverage our technology to solve some of their challenges. And what has really been interesting change for us is that when we started Semsee almost 8 years ago, we were saying we can help you solve this, we can do this for you, and we were sort of trying to sell them a platform, knowing the challenges that they had, but I don't think they knew the challenges that they had.
Of
What's
course.
happening now is that I think a lot of intermediaries, again, small brokers, large brokers, networks, wholesalers, and then even MGAs and carriers, they have a better sense of what their challenges are, but more importantly, how technology can help them. So that has made conversations a lot easier. And so we've actually become more of a enterprise grade solution for a number of players in the space.
That makes sense. And you haven't brought it up, but I'll bring it up. And this is the reason we don't record live. You can ask me to cut this part out, if
Okay.
right, if you prefer. Uh, but also your world has also changed significantly in that uh, two of the companies that I would guess are your big competitors or were your big competitors had huge changes. So both Penguin,
Mhm.
who helped a lot with the whole marketplace for commercial risks, got acquired by AmFam. They're
Yeah.
still around,
Yes.
but they're now part of AmFam. That's a different game. They're not nearly as visible in the market. They might still be very good at what they do, but they're just in a different place. And Tarmica, which was the kind of like the first commercial lines comparative rater that I can think of. They got acquired by Applied. So same story. They're still around, but it's a different game from
Yes.
independent Semsee. So if I had to guess, I would guess that those two acquisitions also changed the world for Semsee, probably in a positive way.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that it has changed it in a positive way. First, because I think it legitimizes on some level what we all were trying to build. I mean, that's the first reality. You've got to give them that kudos. But the other piece is that Semsee really is the lone true neutral player in this space, right? In
Uh-huh.
terms of our ownership structure, in terms of how we do business and how we treat our customers and how we treat our carriers, and sort of how we protect whether we protect data, the way we protect branding and the like, right? And so that has been really interesting and positive for us as well. There are positives, obviously, with the other two folks that you've mentioned in terms of working with them, but we're really, in my opinion, the best horizontal solution in the marketplace that exists today.
That yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. Again, I'm not I neither run a commercial carrier nor and I've never worked a day of my life in the brokerage space. But just based on how on all the people I chat with and my understanding of the space, it does make a lot of sense that you
Mm.
guys have become kind of a unique player. And at 7 or 8 years old, I'm a tour player, and carriers and large brokers, if they're going to invest in being on somebody's platform, it's much easier to convince them to do that. Being a and when I say invest, like even just investing time,
Yes, that's right.
is right. It's very valuable for them, and they're very likely to prefer working with a more mature player than a brand new insurtech.
Yeah, I think that's right. One of the things that I am most proud of, and before starting Semsea almost 8 years ago, I had no insurance experience, and this was all new to me. But 8 years has gone by, and the I'm proud of the product we have built, the reception it's had in the marketplace, but also maybe more importantly, how much respect that people have for what we do and what we've done. And I think that speaks volumes because I know that this is very much a relationship industry and relationship business. People know each other a very long time. And for a newbie like me and for Semsea and the team and our team to garner the respect that we've gotten has been really terrific.
The impression that I get from both you and the company um, is one of quiet strength. So you're and I'm guessing the company took this from you, right? Like inherited your leadership style, which
Mm,
makes a lot of sense as a founder and CEO. Uh, you're not the loudest, you know, like you don't go to ITC and see it sponsored by Semsee everywhere and see Semsee people in 16 different stages. Uh, but you're doing the work, right?
yeah.
And the work speaks for itself.
Yeah, and look, I think that at the end of the day, when I remember when I was in grad school, somebody said it's really important to have both style and substance, right? And I think that, and we try to balance that. So we know that it does require some pizzazz, right, in order to garner attention and to be able to get people to come to you. But at the end of the day, none of that matters if you can't deliver, right? And if you don't deliver,
And that
right?
is
And that's the most
endemic
important thing. And
in the
and
startup world.
that's exactly right.
And like my world as the largest insurtech podcast, uh I often finish an interview and I have no idea what they do, or I understand what they claim to do, but I have no idea if they do it well.
Right.
I have right, and now part of that is I am more than willing to bring on insurtechs that are very early stage, but and in the last few years with the AI revolution, the last couple of years, my God, my life got a lot harder in that almost every interview claims to be an AI company, and it's very hard to suss
Ha.
who's for real, especially for a non-technical
Well,
guy.
but you know what? I'm going to buck that trend. Semsea is not an AI company.
Hold on.
However,
So now my perception is that the great majority of the companies I chat with are not AI companies, but they feel that they have to say they are an AI
I think that's
company
right.
to be able to raise money.
Yeah,
Uh, so it is
which
very
is
brave of
interesting.
you to specifically
Now,
say you're not an AI company.
well, so here's the thing. We are not an AI company, and I don't, but I do, but I will say, here's what we feel, but here's what we're doing. We are using AI to get better at certain parts of the business that people may not even see on the back end, right? In terms of our processes and how we connect with carriers or how we build some of our infrastructure, right? In order to, and then on the other side, part of what we are looking at is leveraging AI to make the agent more intelligent. That's our version of AI,
Fantastic.
agent intelligence, right? Whereas using AI to help create better descriptions about a business, which then helps with classification, which then helps to then connect it to the right carriers and the right carrier subcodes, right? That's where I think you can leverage AI. We're going to be leveraging AI to help with submission activity, to help agents be able to email a submission and find different ways in which AI can make it that much easier for the agent, i.e., making them agent much more intelligent. And so, so I do think AI really can be incredibly powerful.
Agreed. Agreed a thousand
It's just
percent.
not that, but we're not an AI company. I think that feels like
I think the majority of insurtechs are not, but they all say they are nowadays, almost all of
yes.
them. So thank you for the refresh, the breath of fresh air. I've been joking that I'm gonna take a shot every time that the guest says that they're an AI company, and you've saved my liver today.
Oh,
Uh,
good.
uh, so now that you have a 24 lines of business, 6,000 agents, more than 6,000 agents, more than 50 carriers. Um, what is your pitch for the? Let's start with the carriers.
Yeah.
The carriers that are not, and there's like 3,000 carriers in the PNC, right? The carriers that are not yet on the platform, why should they be on the platform, and what does that implementation look like for them today?
Yeah. So on the implementation side, pardon me, it's pretty easy, right? First and foremost, it's if they have an API, that's easy. If they don't have an API, we actually have we've built a system of bots, RPA, using RPA technology to be able to connect to their backend, to be able to represent them, to be on the Semsee platform. So if and so for me, the way to think about it, if you're an MGA or a carrier and whatnot is, are you filling a need or a gap in the market? And that's who we want on the Semsee platform. Based on the data we have, our job isn't to have every carrier that exists. In some ways, that would be nice. That would be, but that's nearly impossible to do, right? To be the Amazon of sorts of everything. What we are focused on is we have all the national carriers essentially, and we have much of the top MGAs and regionals and such. What we're focused now on are how do we add products that fill a void or need? Because what we have seen the past 2 years, Tony, is that the quote rates for agents from carriers has been declining. And but for Semsea, it's been pretty steady because we keep adding carriers that fill gaps, right? And so from my perspective, we probably have 2 or 3 times the quote rate of any other platform because we're smart about adding the right carriers for the right products that the agents need. And so the pitch ultimately for a carrier is we're here to help you with distribution, but not just to give you eyeballs. We want to give you the access, the risks that you want using some of our smart technology and the way in which we work with our agency base and how we white label for our agency base. At the same time, if you're a carrier at MGA who wants sort of a different or better or an improved upon interface to interact with your retail customers or your wholesalers, you can actually white label Semsee to replace your front door. And a number of MGAs and carriers are doing that. And so there are multiple ways in which a carrier can work with us, whether it be for distribution, whether it be for data, that we have a lot of interesting data around how do you compare to other carriers in an anonymized way, both in terms of pricing as well as some of the endorsements that you may have or that they may have or you have or what have you. And then obviously distribution.
All right. All right. Fantastic. I love the thoughtful approach to having the right carriers on the platform. That is fantastic. And I love that you can get them on the platform even if they're not API ready
Right.
through RPO. Um, all right. So for the agencies and brokers, the ones that are not yet on the platform, what is the pitch to them? Why should they be on the platform?
Yeah, and thank you. So what's interesting is for those who are not on the platform, and there are obviously quite a few, but and more joining, is it,
I've got to say, there's about somewhere between 30 and 40,000 independent agencies in the US.
yeah,
You've got 6,000 of them already on.
yeah.
Amazing. Continue.
Yeah. No, we're proud of that. And the way we think about it, and part of what has driven that number is the fact that we have a lot of really cool partnerships, whether they be with some wholesalers or some networks who represent hundreds of agencies underneath them, right? Large brokers who represent hundreds of agencies, in addition to your everyday husband and wife, mother, daughter, teams that are all spread out throughout the U.S. who are what we call, unaffiliated but small agency based. But for brokers and agents who are trying to more efficiently quote commercial insurance, Semsee is a solution for you. If you're a broker or an agent who is struggling to figure out how to, you know, uh, find the right carrier or who's got appetite, we're a solution for you. In addition to the fact that we can easily connect you to a number of carriers on the platform, and and the key thing is we're one platform that enables you to get to not only your appointed carriers, but because of our market access, you can actually at the same time also essentially see what other markets are available for your risk. So instead of having to fill out multiple applications for one risk, you're filling out one application. It gets you access to your appointed carriers and a whole suite of other carriers if you want it or need it at the same time. And ultimately, that is not only for admitted markets, but also E&S. So it really creates one smooth, easy flow in order to get the risk there. And most importantly, I think if you're a larger broker, and a lot more larger brokers are doing this, as they're trying to do things like account rounding or book rolling or book shaping, or as a lot of these large brokers who've grown through M&A are trying to create a unification layer, right? Our
Huge
technology
problem.
becomes that unification layer, right? Because now you can build one platform and have all of your agents use that one platform to be able to submit to the carriers that essentially, provide the most economic benefit while serving your customer base.
The M&A piece on the broker side, there has been so much acquisition and
Yes,
it's likely to continue. And it's a giant problem. That you go and you buy all these books of businesses and sometimes some of them run on Epic, some of them run on
right.
Vertifor, some of them run on Hawksoft. They have different processes, different cultures, and anything you can do to truly uh, to truly integrate and take advantage and really execute on the synergies that you
Yes,
promised your shareholders when you bought them.
that's right.
Uh, the average merger is a money loser for the shareholders of the acquiring company, and that's not just an insurance thing, that's a general business thing. uh, so yes, if having having all of the agencies on Semsee can help us uh, deliver on those promises of synergies,
That's right.
that's a huge win.
That,
Huge,
that is a
huge,
huge
huge
win.
win.
And what's really fascinating is every broker has done this, all the large ones,
Okay.
but they all have done it differently. They all
Okay.
have different systems,
Uh-huh.
different ways in which they've tried to integrate with these brokers. And so that really has been a fascinating learning for us. And we're very fortunate that our platform is malleable and flexible enough where you can configure it based on what your business model is and what your needs are. Whether that's, you need hundreds of agents to use one platform, or you've got a direct to consumer program and you need it to funnel to the agents, right? There are so many different things in which and ways in which we're helping these brokers really optimize small commercial, because that's the key. The thesis where we started 8 years ago has not changed. We want to help make small commercial that much easier, that much more efficient, that much more profitable, right? And when we started, not a lot of people were trying to attack it. And now more and more folks are trying to on some level, but we really are doubling down on focusing on the small to medium-sized commercial risks.
Fantastic. And I don't have to say this for any potential clients because they understand this, but I do want to take a quick parenthesis since we do have a lot of listeners that are young insurance professionals or new insurance professionals. Small commercial is very profitable for the carriers, but it's very difficult to service profitably for the agents.
That's
And
right.
that is a problem that the insurtech revolution is really helping with. But yes, anything so basically every broker, every commercially focused broker, even if they're entirely focused in middle market, they are going to have a bunch of small commercial. It's unavoidable.
That's right.
And it just kind of like boggles down the machinery.
Yeah,
And some of the brokers have my girlfriend. I know this site very well because my girlfriend was actually part of the program at one of the top five global brokers to successfully manage their small commercial, and they were very successful at it. So I learned a lot by watching. Right now, the technology piece did not go that well. They're still figuring that piece out, and she's no longer there. But the small commercial book can be a royal pain to service.
yes.
Uh, and the producers don't get paid on it. It's a pain to service. It's all about efficiency. So anyway, end of parenthesis. Your buyers know this,
Yes, for
so
sure.
they don't even say it. Okay, perfect. So one thing that I found really interesting in thus far in the conversation is you talked about white labeling for the agency broker space.
Hmm.
So let me see if I understood correctly. Basically, we can replace our portal, our crappy homemade website, with a white labeled version of Semsee that is beautiful to use and is fully modern. Am I correct in that?
You are correct. The way what I would add, and where we're
Okay.
really focused on is, I think in order for a large broker or any brokerage to really manage their book of business, they need to create an internal portal where
Mm-hmm.
all of their agents go to regardless, right? And so part of what we've built as part of Semsee, we call it Omni Quoter, is that with an Omni Quoter, every submission starts with this portal. And in that portal, the agent begins to enter information about the risk, and based on that information, the portal, leveraging some AI, leveraging some data, we can then essentially traffic cop the risk to either an automatic, quoting platform, right, Semsee, or a placement team, or to any other partner that that broker wants to send it to. Ultimately, what that does is it means that one, all data is becoming centralized in terms of an entry point. Two, you're starting to then be able to figure out, okay, this is small commercial. We really want this to go here. We can traffic cop it here. This is medium. We want it to go to this particular branch within our company or this particular wholesaler or partner. We can traffic cop it there. So a lot of the way to think about Semsee is there's an external facing piece of it, but it's really an internal tool that really helps the brokers manage all of their submission and quoting activity in a very seamless and intelligent way.
Fantastic. All right. That absolutely makes sense to me. Okay. So I very interesting. One word that I had not heard before is the phrase omni-quoter. So
Yeah,
basically what you're implying is that it's not just a comparative rater. It's
right.
significantly more than that.
That's exactly right. So, I've always, even at the beginning, we never wanted to be just a comparative rater because that feels like, sort of a path to not anywhere that much fun, right? I always told people if we were just building a comparative rater, I probably wouldn't have that much fun or last that long. What we're really trying to do is to help agents manage their commercial quoting activity and making that fun for them, but also profitable, right? And at the same time, helping carriers get to the risks that they want, right? So that's really the way to think about us is Semsea is a commercial platform. And that platform is here to help you to essentially more efficiently sell commercial insurance to the carriers that want it, right? So that's on the agency or distribution side of the house.
All right. All right. Awesome. 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 Awesome.
Yeah. And by the way, part of what makes this interesting for us is the other fact that we're dealing with is there are a lot more agents now who are doing commercial who haven't done commercial before.
All
And
right.
that is an
Uh-huh.
important element that part of our
Okay.
platform, why we're using AI and education and data to help is because there are a lot of personalized rating, personalized agents now doing commercial. And so part of that's why we're emphasizing a lot of we're going to help you with classification. We're going to help you with appetite. We're going to help you say, hey, this is a restaurant. Here are the types of here are the lines of business you have to think about. Here are the endorsements that you should be thinking about. Here are the carriers that do that well within your state or within your zip code. Really trying to educate the agent to help empower them to do the right thing in terms of actually getting the right coverage for their client, but then also helping them sell it, right? And so that's I think a really important element
No kidding.
that we do as a platform because I think that's a change that we've underestimated is small commercial is growing, but it's growing because more people are doing it who weren't doing it, or they're doing more of it when they were doing when because maybe they were 80 or 90% personal lines, and now they need to be 50 or 60% personal
Mm-hmm.
lines and 30 to 40% commercial.
I hadn't even thought of that, but that makes absolutely perfect sense to me because yes, personal lines has become really commoditized
Yeah,
and it's become really hard to make a living selling personal lines. So yeah, everybody wants to transition to commercial lines and a healthy book is probably more 50-50 than 90-10.
right.
I mean, if you're 90% commercial, good for you. But like so many agencies out there historically have been 90% personal, and they're actively trying to transition to commercial. So it makes sense that you would have a lot more agents doing commercial. And of course, bringing down middle market is hard. And it takes time and yeah, it's hard. It takes time and experience. You're probably going to do a good amount of small commercial while you build your middle market book so you don't starve.
Right.
So that makes so much sense.
Yeah, and why not therefore use a platform like Semsea that can again help you classify, help you figure out who has appetite. And by the way, if you're doing commercial for the first time or you haven't done a lot of commercial before, we give you access to markets all on the same platform, right? So it really becomes a one-stop
Brilliant.
solution for these agents.
Brilliant. So you can function as my market access provider.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So, and
Fantastic.
again, we are not here to replace any carriers that you have a direct appointment with. We're here to supplement it. That's the way to think
I
about
mean,
it.
getting appointments today is damn near impossible if you're new.
Yes, it's well, yeah, carriers are becoming more and more restrictive or in so many ways in terms of who they appoint now.
Fantastic. Philippe, great catching up and
Same here.
what's going on with Semsee. I was impressed with you guys the first time. Love seeing you on the road. Uh, Even more impressed this time. Uh, Thank you so much for your time today. When this goes live, I will tag both you and the company on LinkedIn. And yeah, holy crap! If you're not on the Semsee platform, if you made it this late, you made it 45 minutes into the recording, go check it out. Honestly, there's a
Yeah,
reason
we'd
you're still
love to have
listening.
you.
So thank you.
Thank you so much, Tony.